Welcome back, this is Gaming Assembled. When you play CK3, what is it that you want from the game? You might say that it's to expand your realm or to gain a particular achievement, but really that's what you want to do in the game. What you want from it is for an engaging story. And that's what keeps you loading that save file and keeps you coming back. So in this video, we're going to look at 5 really simple things that you can do to get your new CK3 campaign off to a really good storytelling start. This is about roleplay, keeping it entertaining, keeping it gripping all the way through the campaign. And these are the things that I do whenever I start a roleplay game, such as the one in my Inheritance series. If you haven't seen that, do check it out. But for now, let's get started. Tip number 1. When you start a campaign, you will have various unmarried courtiers and council members that are automatically generated. Make good use of them. For example, female unmarried characters can be used to bring in knights. Press C on your keyboard and bring up the character search screen. Expand your search initially by swapping the search to all instead of just top realm, and then refine the search by specifying male unmarried characters that are of your religion and are inside your communication range. Finally, sort the list of characters by prowess and then invite knights to marry your lucky unwed ladies. Make sure that you set the marriage to be matrilineal though, to get the knights to come to you, rather than your maidens going off travelling to them. And you can repeat this for bringing in other people as well. So if you want to search for a court physician, for example, on the refining of the search, type in physician, and you'll have different options to look at depending on the level of skill of physician you're wanting. But the same thing for other council positions and court positions as well. Search for someone appropriate, look for the skills you're looking for, and just remember that if your courtier is female, then you need a matrilineal marriage, and if they're male, a standard marriage. Tip number 2. Any knights or other prominent characters that you haven't already married off, then couple them up. And then take this step further and land them when you can. This is to build the oligarch of families and of the realm through time. The landing of the characters doesn't have to happen initially, but what you're looking for is for this to be as early as you can, as that way they start to develop their lands and it starts to form the backdrop of the web of alliances, intrigue, friendships and rivalries in the realm that really makes a great story. Bear in mind that the introduction of these characters may in time hinder your progress as much as it helps you, but the interactions with the families whose seeds you've planted generations back really adds to the game flavour and the story enrichment, so it's really well worth doing. Number 3. Take in wards from court events, from siege prisoners and from prominent families in your realm. If the ward is from a major family, this can of course potentially help keep that family out of factions, but it also potentially leads to that child thinking positively of your character and can also possibly lead to friendships forming between children of your dynasty and those of other noble families. There are some throne room and other random events that can also bring you into contact with young orphan children that are in need of a home or a guardian. By taking these children on as wards, it means that you can form a relationship between them and your character, which could in turn serve as roleplay justification of them later being rewarded with lands when they come of age. This then in turn further feeds back into the tip from number 2, and it also integrates them and their subsequent family more deeply into the realm. And this once again further enriches the story narrative of the roleplay scenario. Tip number 4. Consider bringing in some good inheritable traits, not only into your family through marriages, but also into the families of the people around you in these other oligarchic families in your court. Over time, having a great inheritable genetic trait within your court, even if it's not directly in your family, can really add a great deal of flavour to your game. And it's a good roleplay reason for marriages within the realm, beyond simply playing it in a very gamey way to help keep the various families and dynasties out of factions that are plotting against you. Tip number 5. In life, it's rare that we naturally get on with everyone around us, and the same is true in CK3. At the start of the campaign, before you even unpause for the first time, have a look at your character and his or her traits and personality. Then look at those of your neighbouring rulers around you. Consider the characters you've looked at. Consider who would naturally be your character's friends and who would likely be on their list of enemies, and characters who would be able to push their buttons, so to speak. Which of your neighbours would your character naturally lean towards for an alliance, and who would he or she naturally target in the short-term objectives for expansion of the realm? Also, who can you safely trust and safely ignore? Who do you think you need to watch closely or for similar aggression coming the other way? This list of friends and foes may not necessarily be the same as the characters that you would choose if you were min-maxing your game, but this way it adds a lot more depth to the campaign and a lot more flavour in the long run. So there's my list of 5 tips, and once again, that is just my list. It's something that I do and I think is a really good way to start a game. But what do you think? Would you do things differently? Are there any other tips and starting moves that you can think of that would be worth sharing? Let me know. Get involved. Comment on the video, get in touch on social media, and add your voice to the discussion. But until next time, thank you for listening, and I'll see you in the next one.